These are our group members: 蔡红、崔静、李文静、马明泽、王静. And tourism industry is a key component in today's economy. Travelers today pursue a satisfied and safety tourism environment. However, the terrorism today affected the tourism development to some extent. So the following, our group will use the TV program to show the topic terrorism and tourism industry.
Welcome.
Focus every day, focus everything. This is Zach. Welcome to the Focus. In the near decades, terrorism attacks brought hurt on both physics and economic to millions of people. The terrorism risk index comes from Mapplecroft, draws on the latest and most comprehensive data available to calculate the frequency and lethality of terrorist incidents over the 12-month period, April to April 1st, 2011. These four countries altogether accounts for overall 75% of the world's 13,492 fatalities. Looking at the year-on-year data, Mapplecroft's research also reveals that the number of terrorist attacks rose by approximately 15% globally. But there is a good news that compared to April 2009 to March 2010, however, there was a decrease in fatalities. The frequent terrorism attacks impact the world continuously, which force people traveling with a high watchfulness. And terrorism attack not only affect the local people, the security, but also impact the tourism industry. Well, in Focus today, we are talking about the relation of terrorism and tourism. I'm glad to introduce our honored guest, Dr. Wang, who is the professor of tourism and hospitality industry. Welcome.
Hello everyone. As we know, for the 21st century, travelers want to be safety, but they also want to be safe. However, international terrorism increased rapidly during the 1960s and the early 1970s. Tourism destinations have more recently been primary targets of the terrorist attacks. And two of the largest terrorism events in the last decade were the 9/11 and the Madrid train bombings. And in the post-9/11 era, there have been at least 18 major terrorism incidents aiming at the tourism targets. Terrorism is a type of man-made crisis, and it can be considered as a low probability and high-impact event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wang. For coordinating our discussion, we interviewed several travelers to understand their perspectives of the terrorism attacks. Now let's have a look.
In Egypt. Oh, I remember it. It was 1993. That was my first travel abroad. You know, I'm rich, so travel is really an important thing in my life. And Egypt, it's a special place in my heart before. When I was a little girl, I want to be the Queen of Egypt. So I came to Egypt with my dream. But everything ruined in Egypt. That's very terrible. Oh, how afraid I am. It was really a nice journey before that day. That terrible day at the foot of the human civilization heritage pyramid. I couldn't control my exciting mood when I'm facing that famous attraction. So I did the most wrong thing. I jumped and they shouted excited. I'm the king of Egypt. I'm the king of Egypt. I'm the king. In Egypt. It's really scared me. Thanks, dear God, I survived. But Egypt, everything changed. Gym tour, terrorists. Oh, I will never go to Egypt after that. Nor my families, nor my friends. Egypt, everything related Egypt. No.
10th anniversary of 9/11. What's your opinion about terrorism?
I think terrorism is a very, very horrible issue. You know, this year is the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Oh, I think 9/11 was an event that shook all over the world. At that time, I was just a kid, but I still shocked by the news of 9/11. I still remember the feeling while watching it on TV. Oh, it's very horrible. So many people died. I was very scared. This year, I have an opportunity to travel in America. But I'm not only enjoy the beautiful scenery and experience the American culture. I also want to find out what and how American government did to keep public security and tourism security. Luckily, I believe there are many impacts on the tourism destination during the 10 years. As my own experience, for example, at the airport, there are many security personnel and increased surveillance of baggage and travelers. And also, I saw many armed and plainclothes security guards on the international flights. Besides, at the bus station and the train station, there are many surveillance cameras monitor the daily activities, and also many checkpoints to scan and examine travelers and their baggage. Although because of security measures, it took us a long time to examine in the checkpoints, but we'd like to spend more time to ensure our safety. It's very, very important, you know. The security is a priority to travel to other place. I think American government learned a lot from 9/11 because they took many measures to prevent tourist attacks, and also once holding some intelligence, American government will warn their national residents to be careful while traveling, and in order to ensure their safety. Not only the American government, I think other countries should learn something from 9/11 to prevent such kind of events. Thank you.
From the video, we can see that terrorism has a profile influence. And to sum up, terrorism can cause a serious direct and indirect damage. Firstly, is the persistent terrorism can tarnish the destination's image of safety and attractiveness. And further, the visitor arrivals will decline because the planned vacation are likely to be cancelled and tourism are likely to substitute the destination they believe to be safer. Also, it makes harder for the companies to attract guests and employees. Additionally, there is a possibility that investment funding will be destroyed, thereby further impeding development. Finally, through a domino effect, a tarnished image can threaten tourism sustainability, which in turn will jeopardize the area's long-term economic viability. Here is an example. 90% of the Bali's economy depends directly and indirectly on tourism. However, it covered a crisis in 2002 in a resort area crowded with tourists, leaving almost 200 dead and many injured. The event has serious consequences for tourism in Bali. First of all, almost immediately after the bombings, 2,000 tourists cut short their holiday in Bali, and all types of accommodations saw a corresponding fall in demand. And occupation rate in larger hotels plummeted from the 75% on the 11th October to 33% on 19th October. Restaurants, retailers, and attractions also had fewer customers, and the future of small enterprises was threatened. And then the World Tourism Organization predicted that the Bali Island could be $4 million poor due to the terrorism. From the graph, we can see that the first Bali's boom has directly affected the reduction in the hotel occupation levels. And then, here we can see the tourism industry is highly vulnerable to nature and human-caused disasters. Maybe there will have some improvement after the terrorism, but the return to the pre-crisis condition is unlikely to be imminent and might never be fully secured. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, next, our journalist contacted to a special guest via her personal channels. This guest claimed herself is a member of terroristic organization, which we call it Black Roses. Let's hear the voice from them and to know why the reason they doing the terrorism attack.
Attack tourism destination.
I seek out a travel destination for a variety of reasons. First of all, it attacked on travel centers and attacked on that nation's economy. For example, the field of flying hurts not only airline business, but also local economies. I scared you, didn't I? Secondly, tourism can be highly media-oriented. I seek for facilities and publicities and other big events like sport events and mega events because they already have media, so I can show my face to the world immediately. Third one, the travel attractions such as historical sites and museums and other natures represent the nature and the spirit of a nation, so I want to destroy everything. The final one and the most important one is that it's very easy for me to hide in tourists.
An interesting interview, isn't it?
Yeah.
But based on what she said, you have any suggestions or strategies for us or for the tourism industry?
Yes, from the video we can see some points of the reason of the terrorism. Therefore, I think the crisis management is so important. And here we can see that first of all, the strategy can draw on the policy making, risk, safety, security, and will involve the terrorism prevention and mitigation measures and practice. Just like Egypt, it has tried to deal with its terrorism program through increased security and aggressive marketing and promotion efforts. And secondly, I think the use of technology for surveillance, lighting, and communication is normally an effective terrorism deterrent. And thirdly, the upgraded security at points of access control, improvement in immigration services, and development of transport route networks, and the provision of tax incentives, and the increased frequency of police patrols at resorts is important, just like Malaysia and Philippines do. And finally, it's also the most important thing is people should improve their safety awareness and do not travel in the area where terrorist attacks occur frequently. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your analysis and your suggestions. Today, we analyze the relation of terrorists and the tourism industry by using research data and field interviews. Terrorists brought a horrible impact to tourism industry, but some place like Bombay is using terrorists as tourism attraction. That's weird, which is only an exception. However, most of tourism destinations where have been attracted by terrorists are decreasing their visitors. In the near future, we hope that the terrorists can be stopped by government and which the world can provide a safety environment for visitors or tourism industry. Well, thank you for watching Focus and thank you for coming, Dr. Wong. We will meet again tomorrow, same time. This is Zach, come from Daily Focus. Have a good one.